Hello, this is my dynamic learning experience. The name of my learning experience is Consequences of the Civil War Scavenger Hunt. It is a hyperdoc. It is designed for grade levels 10 through 12. The content area is U.S. history and geography. It is designed for blended learning, and it could also be used online and hybrid. The length of the experience is 60 to 90 minutes. So the purpose of this one is to be a refresher assignment. So U.S. history students in Tennessee, in eighth grade they learn up to the Civil War. In 11th grade, they pick up at Reconstruction, which is right after the Civil War. But that's a several year gap in between, and so this is designed to be done at the beginning of the school year as a refresher, just to kind of set the stage. So the standards for this really are social studies practice standards and a review of some eighth grade standards. So the social studies practice 03 is to be able to synthesize data from a variety of sources and in order to establish accuracy and validity by comparing sources to each other, recognizing disparities among multiple accounts, and to frame appropriate questions for further investigation. So basically, they're going to be able to take information from these different websites and synthesize that information to draw historical conclusions. The social studies practices 05 is developing historical awareness, so recognizing how and why historical accounts change over time, perceiving and presenting past events and issues as they might have been experienced by the people of the time with historical empathy rather than present-mindedness, evaluating how unique circumstances of time and place create context and contribute to action and reaction, and identifying patterns of continuity and change over time, making connections to the present. So they're going to be able to take this information from these different sites and analyze them to not only have an understanding of the true impact of the time, but to be able to take that information and so that they can relate it to present time, so that they can really get a full grasp of what really happened at the end of the Civil War. The eighth grade standards that apply to this are TN 8.61, describe the election of 1860, its candidates, and analyze how the campaigns reflected sectional turmoil in the country. TN 8.64, analyze the significance of the Emancipation Proclamation and the Gettysburg Address. They will actually be reading the Gettysburg Address in this. And TN 8.67, analyze the immediate political impact of the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. We aren't going into Andrew Johnson's ascension to the presidency in this one because that's going to be addressed during Reconstruction. So it's really not necessary to the setting the stage lesson. And since there's so much information that is having to be packed into one lesson, that will save until later. So the ISTE standards for the students, there are 3 of them that will apply. The empowered learner. So students will leverage technology to take an active role in choosing, achieving, and demonstrating competency in their learning goals, informed by the learning sciences. So this is a hyperdoc. So traditionally students, when they're doing historical research, they have to go to like a library and an actual book, physical book to learn. Well, here they're learning about technology because today, now you're doing all of your research online. So they need to be able to identify what is an appropriate site to go to find that information. So knowledge constructors, students critically curate a variety of resources using digital tools to construct knowledge, produce creative artifacts, and make meaningful learning experiences for themselves and others. So students aren't necessarily creating a physical artifact in this, but they are constructing knowledge. They are taking this information and they're translating that information into a deeper understanding of what happened. So they're really gaining historical context and historical awareness by doing this. And they're also doing this in a group atmosphere, so they're going to be doing it with each other, which turns us to the global collaborator. Students use digital tools to broaden their perspectives and enrich their learning by collaborating with others and working effectively in teams locally and globally. So they're not necessarily going global on this, they're doing local. When I created this, I had my students in mind, so they're in groups of 4, so there's 4 stops on the scavenger hunt. They can divide up the different stops, but they have to communicate with each other so that they're prepared for the full group discussion afterwards. And so they're really taking that time to use their tools, broaden their perspectives, and discuss it with each other. As far as the 4 C's, we do collaboration and critical thinking in this one. So again, collaboration, the idea is that they're going to get together and they're going to talk about it and deepen their questions. So each stop, the questions are divided into 2 sections. One section is just information gathering. The other section is deeper thinking. And that also goes into your critical thinking aspect of this. So they're going to take that information and they're going to apply it historically. And using their critical thinking skills and speaking with each other as a group, they're going to be able to develop their answers a lot better and develop a historical awareness. Dynamic learning characteristics, they're going beyond the grade level and subject area and beyond the tools. So beyond the grade level and subject area, for example, they're going to be using math in this. So they're going to be taking a website that just lists statistics, and they're going to take those numbers and they're going to apply them into equations so that they can understand them in today's form. So for example, one of the questions is they know that 2.5% of Americans died in the Civil War. They're going to take that and apply that 2.5% to today's population and find out exactly how many people that would be today so that they can understand the impact of the population. Beyond the tools, again, this is a hyperdoc. So this is a document that requires them to go online. They're not going to the library anymore. They're going online. They are looking at different sites, statistical sites, a national park site, a YouTube site, a television site. Again, these are going to be worthy sites for research in the future, so it gives them that understanding of what tools are going to be appropriate to use, and they're going to be able to use that in the future in future classes and in college. How this is going to affect future instructions, lessons like this provide great opportunities for collaboration while using technology. Technology is going to be a part of students' futures, no matter where they go after this. And with especially the COVID pandemic, and there's a potential rise of another variant, the classroom environment changes, and it could change dramatically and quickly. And so to be able to have tools like this, to be able to use digitally, to be able to use in person, that can be translated really quickly is really important. So I'm going to be using documents like this more often in the future because they're pretty basic to create, but then they're going to be longer lasting and encourage that deeper thinking and encourage the use of skills that they're going to apply no matter what in the future. Throughout college, they're going to use these digital research skills. And then when they get into the workplace, they're going to be able to discern what is a good set of information, how they'll be able to analyze information that's online. And honestly, beyond the walls of the classroom, you're looking at becoming more informed citizens. So when they get on, well, for today, for us adults, it's Facebook, they do Instagram. If they're going to be able to take information and make a solid argument based on accurate information, because they're going to know where to look to find appropriate sources. So this goes just beyond a simple hyperdoc. I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing everybody else's.